round up a big story from the week now. Comedian Kathy Griffin is on the offensive following the backlash she's gotten because of a picture showing her holding a severed and bloody head resembling that of President Trump. During a news conference Friday, she said President Trump is using his power to target her and that he's trying to ruin her life. She also said that she's been getting death threats, but even so, she says she's not going to stop making fun of the president. So is she the victim in the controversy? That's our topic this half hour, and we want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page and Twitter. Just tweet me at Sally Mack, Fox 26. We're going to be sharing some of your comments. Joining us now in the studio is our senior legal analyst, Chris Tritico, Democratic media consultant, Mustafa Tamiz, and Republican strategist and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. Good morning.
Good morning.
So a lot of people wondering, does this rise to a crime as well? We know the Secret Service has given her a call.
Well, they're going to investigate, and they investigate anything that might be a threat on the president, but this is not going to be a crime. The First Amendment to the United States Constitution protects people like Kathy Griffin to say the things that they say. It protects the Ku Klux Klan to walk down the main street and holler epitaphs about African Americans. That doesn't make the speech right. It doesn't make it justified, and it doesn't protect Kathy Griffin from the backlash.
Right. You know, I've been saying this repeatedly. The vitriol, the meanness, vindictiveness coming from some on the left ever since our president's been elected has been unprecedented. So some people are saying that they're surprised, but then you have some Democratic leaders like Al Franken who's actually saying,
bring that up.
Yeah, who's actually saying he wants to have public appearances with her,
right,
which is very telling about some of the leaders in that party. Think about the families of James Foley or Daniel Pearlman, who were actually beheaded by our enemies, and they have to live through this, and having her make fun of our president and our country. These military men and women put their lives on the line for her to have her free speech.
Al Franken, before he said he wanted to appear with her, said that he condemned it. He talked to her, told her it was wrong, and then said he would go out with her. That's a different thing.
Oh, well, actually, if he condemned it, then he should leave her alone. There's no need to hold her hand and have public appearances with her.
You know, what do you have to say about that?
Well, first, I think this kind of humor is not funny. And I don't see any excuses that anybody could make for Kathy Griffin. I think that this is wrong and it should not be done. On the other hand, you also see Ted Nugent, who openly called for an assassination of Barack Obama. That was not condemned by many people on the right, including the President of the United States, who not only not condemned it, but had him over for dinner, sat down next to him, took pictures of him in the Oval Office. So, you know, the President of the United States has lowered the standard for everybody, and then when it begins to affect him, he calls foul.
But let's talk about Kathy Griffin's press conference, which I think should be a model for how not to have a press conference. You do this performance art that's disgusting. Everyone on both sides of the aisle says you shouldn't have done this, and then she claims to be the victim. She's not the victim.
Yeah, but I mean, you just heard the explanation of my colleague. The left, instead of saying, look, owning up to it and saying, I'm wrong, I shouldn't have done this, they're saying, well, the people on the right did A, B, and C. So, you know,
that's not what I said.
The fact is she's not going to be an adult. Many people on the left are not being adults.
Let's go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
All righty, let's check in on Twitter right now. We're going to hear from Ben first. Good morning to you. He says playing the victim just made things worse for Kathy Griffin. The last venue canceled her show during the press conference. Here's a one from Keith Olbermann. He says, to Kathy Griffin and Lisa Bloom, her attorney, you could not be doing more to help Donald Trump if you were Putin. Please stop this selfish nonsense. And then the attorney responded, thanks for the mansplain, super helpful. We'll wait meekly for your advice on the right time for a woman to stand up against Trump. And then Janet says, so Kathy, if someone posted a joke of your father's bloody head, you'd laugh it off? She calls her an evil woman and she would boycott her to the end.
So let's get into some of that issues right there. It seems to me that what Kathy Griffin is doing is she's like the person who goes in to the theater and hollers bomb and then sues the theater owner because they trampled him on the way out. I mean, isn't that exactly what's happening?
Look, we have to start stepping out of our partisan lens to look at some of these issues that are happening around us in our culture. This is just wrong. It's not a Democratic thing. It's not a Republican thing. It's not a anti-Trump, pro-Trump. It's just wrong. We should not do this, and Kathy Griffin needs to stop. Now, having said that, we all also need to understand that people make mistakes like this. It's her First Amendment right to do this, but we should condemn it.
Yes, I'm going to say something that you didn't think you'd hear.
Hold on. Turn your DVRs on.
I agree with Ms. Duff. I mean, the viciousness of this joke, prank, whatever she said. She said, I'm a comedian.
Art.
Performance art. I'm a comedian. I went too far. Look, she hasn't had a hit in a while. She's getting attention that she hasn't gotten in a very long time. She knew if she took a severed head, a severed bloody head, and did what she did, she would get attention. And she's now getting that attention.
She's not the first performance artist to take on a controversial issue and pay a price.
Yes, but I do want to caution all of us, though. People making death threats against her are equally, if not more vile than her awful art. So we need to be careful that violence should not lead to more violence, and people that are making this threat and retweeting these things are just as awful, if not more awful, than what she's doing.
And one thing that I've been saying is the more that you see these vicious jokes, these vicious attacks against our president, the more that people are going to rally around him. You've seen many Democrats even saying that they are going too far, and people are going to start empathizing with the president, and they're going to make it a lot easier when he seeks re-election.
Real quick, we got to go.
Outside of the politics, the president sometimes eggs these things on all the time, and he needs to stop too.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Join us on Facebook Live. We'll continue talking about it real quick. The office of President of the United States needs to be respected regardless of who's in the office, and that's the problem with Kathy Griffin. We'll be back. We'll be back. That sounds good. We'll leave it there. All right. Thanks so much, guys.